consultant, participant, and colleagues, all protocols observed. I would like to thank you all for attending this important workshop on witness and victims protection. It is well understood that the protection of victims and witness is an important mechanism in the fight against impunity, ensuring the preservation of the physical, moral, and intellectual integrity of victims and witnesses, and the strengthening of the state and reliable judicial system. In the context of transitional justice, comparative experience show that addressing serious past violations is particularly challenging. Indeed, with the passage of time, evidence may have been lost, destroyed, or compromised, complicating the judicial process. Also, victims, especially in case of sexual and gender-based violence, often face substantial difficulties in obtaining the necessary documentation to substantiate their experiences or the safety to voluntarily testify before the court. This underlines the complex nature of pursuing accountability for human rights violations in transitional settings, where sometimes the most serious perpetrators still have the capacity to harm the victims and witnesses. Witness protection is important to protect victims and witnesses, and it secures their collaboration to ensure the best possible results for criminal prosecution and guarantee justice for victims and strengthen the rule of law. As the country is getting ready to initiate the prosecutions post-TRRC, we all anticipate the need for protection mechanisms to ensure greater participation from victims and witnesses, and eventually secure successful trials serving de facto justice to the victims. You may remember that one key recommendation of the TRRC was the establishment of a national victims and witness protections mechanism to guarantee accountability for past crimes and preventing their recurrence. Also, learning from our ordinary court proceedings, we understand the importance of such mechanism. In fact, even within the framework of ordinary justice, victims and witness protection represents a crucial tool for dealing with crimes committed within the framework of organized crimes. For example, in cases of drug trafficking, human trafficking and exploitation, rape and other sexual violence, to name but a few. Most modern judicial systems include this mechanism to facilitate the participation of victims and witnesses as key players in determining the responsibility of perpetrators of serious crimes while preserving their physical and emotional state. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, however, important to acknowledge that an effective witness protection mechanism requires the participation and collaboration of a variety of stakeholders, including state and non-state institutions. It also requires knowledge and understanding of the principles, standards, and requirements of such mechanism, the role and contribution of the key actors, understanding of the specific measures and conditions of the implementation, and finally, critical reflections and responses to the potential contextual, structural, and financial challenges that it represents. Today's workshop is meant to provide the necessary capacity building to state and non-state actors in order to leverage the support for the design and operationalization of the mechanism under the leadership of the Ministry of Interior. I would like to call on your active participation, ideas and suggestions, also your experiences in addressing vulnerable victims, such as women and children during criminal proceedings, your knowledge of the Gambian context, and particularly your contribution to the implementation of the Victims and Witness Protection Policy. To conclude my remarks, I would like to acknowledge and appreciate the financial support from the UNDP and the UNOHCHR which enabled us to hold this event. I would also like to acknowledge the productive collaboration with ABA and the National Human Rights Commission and commend the leadership of the Ministry of Interior in promoting and protecting human rights and the well-being of victims. I finally wish to extend my heartfelt thanks to the consultants, to our colleagues, and to each of you for your time and participation. Thank you for your attention.
Has already established. Ladies and gentlemen, a good morning to you all. It is my privilege to welcome you on behalf of the American Bar Association Rule of Law Initiative with support from USAID under the Promoting Rights and Justice activity in the Gambia for this 2-day training for policymakers on witness protection mechanism and policy. Today, we gather to deepen our understanding of a critical aspect of justice that often goes unseen but is vital for the integrity of our legal system and well-being of those who courageously step forward to share their stories. Briefly about the American Bar Association, we are an organization that has been implementing in the Africa region for over 25 years in over 100 countries. And our focus has been on the rule of law, advancing human rights, and strengthening judicial institutions, as well as also supporting professionals in advancing the understanding of law and the rights of the citizens and the public. In 2021, the PRJ program started, and it is based on that program that we are here today. As part of our partnership with NHRC and our collaboration with the International Center for Transitional Justice, as well as also the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Interior, and also the Office of the IGP and other stakeholders, these entities have worked tirelessly to develop and validate the National Victim and Witness Protection Policy. And it is based on this that we are having this training today to seek a better understanding of the National Victim and Witness Policy, and also for policymakers to understand their role in promoting the safety, well-being, and the rights of victims and witnesses. Victims and witnesses are the cornerstone of our justice process, and protecting them is not only just our professional responsibility, but it is also a moral obligation. Their safety, dignity, and trust in the system determines the success of our pursuit of justice and also the strength of our communities. I hope that by the end of this training, we will see an increased awareness and understanding of the contents of the Victims and Witness Protection Policy, as well as an political commitment for its enactment into an act of parliament. This, I believe, will reflect our collective role in creating a justice system that prioritizes compassion, security, as well as fairness. I encourage you to ask your experiences, and by working together, create a stronger network to the victims and also enhance the effectiveness of our efforts. Thank you for your commitment to this cause, and have an engaging training. Thank you.
I will also observe the protocols as alluded by the other speakers. Okay, I am here representing the Minister of Interior and the Deputy Permanent Secretary. It is a great honor for. Is it going? Okay. Okay, I just want to observe the existing protocols as alluded by the former speakers. It is indeed a great honor to deliver the opening statement of this training organized by ICTJ, that is the International Center for Transitional Justice, together with the Ministry of Interior, with funding from ABBA. So to begin with, I just want to give a brief background. The policy is as a result of a recommendation of TRRC, and I think everybody knows that government has adopted the TRRC white paper. So the National Human Rights Commission developed and adopted the policy and developed and validated this policy. And through the policy validation, it has been mapped out that the Ministry of Interior is the key institution to lead this policy implementation. So that's why we come in to be the leader of this policy. So, and through that, we are working with ABBA and ICTJ to ensure the implementation of this policy. A stakeholder consultation was made after the policy was handed over to us, I think 2 weeks back, and then we map key stakeholders we think are important in this policy, and a consultation was made. Now we are here to witness the training so that at least we can get an idea of what we need and what it entails in the policy, and map out a strategy to see how best we can implement the policy. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, as we know, the country is undergoing transitional justice. We understand that there is a great need for government to set up mechanisms for the protection of victims and witnesses, as highlighted in the TRRC recommendation and government white paper. We understand that effective victim and witness protection is a key integral part of the entire investigation process, from gathering information to reporting and advocacy. Considering the enactment of the Special Prosecutor's Office Bill by the government as recommended by the TRRC, the formation of the ECOWAS Joint Technical Committee for the establishment of a hybrid court, a greater interaction between the judicial mechanism, alleged property, victim and witnesses is key. Therefore, come into play by protecting the lives of victims and witnesses, their privacy, integrity, reputation, physical, psychological well-being, providing special consideration and support for survivors of sexual and gender-based violence to avoid re-traumatization. Therefore, the training will enhance the capacity of you, the participants, as stakeholders involved in prosecuting, enhance the capacity of you, the participants, as stakeholders involved in prosecutions, and at the same time in the advocacy to ensure effective and efficient implementation of the TRRC recommendation and the successful prosecution of perpetrators. Moreover, the implementation of the policy is key in maintaining rule of law and ensuring trust and confidence in the country's criminal justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, I therefore urge you to share your thoughts and expertise in order to enrich the policy and contribute to its adoption and implementation. The Ministry of Interior is ready to partner with all to the advocacy for the implementation of the policy. Once again, we thank our partners, ICTJ and ABBA, for the support. We are hoping that the collaboration will continue for us to ensure that the policy is enacted. Thank you very much.